Memphis, Janine Lewis.
This protection name of Abraham Rodriguez with a Lewiston, Maine address.
Welcome to Hide and Seek TV. It's your boy Hide and Seek. And I had this video coming on Young Dolph. I got time to really do a little research, and I'm going to delve deep into this because this video, I'm actually going to mix in Alpo Martinez. I'm going to be covering Alpo Martinez, so I'm going to give y'all the 2-for-1 special, the Young Dolph and Alpo Martinez, aka known as Rico on Paid in Full. So let's delve deep into this. People have been asking me to cover this, so I got you. So first off, I want to talk about Young Dolph. And as we already know, your boy out of Memphis, you know what I mean? So the whole thing, I'm going to delve deep into this because obviously he was born July 27th. Like I said, I'm going to hop right into the mix in this because I was actually, which is very serious, and you already know how these Masons work. And this is very serious because it's this wrestler named Dolph Ziggler, and he was born July 27th. He's just 5 years older than Dolph. So he had July 27th, July 27th. And a couple days before Dolph, had that whole situation, they had a tribute to the troops in WWE. It was like a couple days right before this whole situation happened with Dolph. And what was crazy is Big E, he actually won the match. He was wrestling against Dolph, and he finished him off with the big ending. And I'm going to break this down because I'm going to connect all of this. You got to hear where I'm going. Like, this stuff is that deep. Because right after Big E beat Dolph, now he's going against Roman Reigns. And when you understand the Rome thing is very serious, because I'm going to connect this because everything just all comes together. Like, y'all know people who watch my channel, it just all, I'm showing you how everything connect piece by piece, layer by layer. I'm not just doing no conspiracy talk. I don't do no conspiracy talk. I use the spirit of the Most High and reveal this stuff, man, because this stuff is all in our face. And this is all symbolic attacks against the saints. You know what I'm saying? So what I want to talk about is obviously Big E. His name obviously is what? Etor. And look at what his name means. It means to restrain, to defend and restrain against. So you understand how deep that goes, how he had to go against the Dolph. And I'm going to break this down because you see how now he's going against Roman Reigns. And hence the whole theme of what? The whole theme of the restrained Rome. And this is a very serious theme, and I'm going to cover this because it just blew my mind when I connected this. And, on the song, what was it? Talking to My Scale by Young Dolph. I don't want to play it because it ain't going to do nothing but keep on, flagging it. But obviously everybody know who heard the song. He started out saying, if I sacrifice myself, will I go to hell? So hit the whole thing, will I sacrifice myself? And then he said, my blunt's the size of Biggie, spinning paper like I'm Puffy. So that was already showing you the whole theme of the sacrifice thing that was coming. You know what I'm saying? The whole theme of this, and this is all in our face, and it's all about who got the eyes to see and ears to hear. So I want to keep this thing rolling because how he was, the whole situation happened at the homemade cookie shop, out there in Memphis, Makita's Cookie Shop. So which is deep because it happened on Airways Boulevard, right? And that's very serious. It happened on Airways Boulevard. And I'm going to cover this because, obviously, Juice WRLD is his cousin. You remember Juice WRLD happened at the airport. I'm going to break that down in a second. I already did a breakdown on that before, symbolically on what that whole thing was about. But as you see, the phone number is 745-2667. And people who've been watching my channel already know where I'm about to go with the 45 and the 67. Because like I've been breaking this down for a while now. In Revelation 12, as it's written, a woman was clothed with the sun and moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she being with child, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head, sought to destroy the man-child who was caught up into the throne of God, who was set to rule the earth with the rod of iron. So hence the whole thing being caught up into the throne of God. Hit the whole theme of this with the airways with Dolph, airport with Juice WRLD, because hence the whole theme of Messiah caught up unto the throne. That's what it's called, like the Jets. Remember the Jetsons? Remember back in the day, hint the son of the jet. You know what I mean? That's all it was talking about. The Jetsons, Messiah being caught up into the heavens. And that stuff is that deep. And you see, as it said, that the red dragon has 7 heads, 10 horns, which is very serious because I'm going to explain it a little later on in the video in a second. But when you understand the 7 times the 10, that's the 70s. And remember, I've been breaking this down for a while now. And about 1976, I'm going to get into that as well because I got some connections with Alpo I'm going to put in here. But as you see, anyway, 1976 to 2021 is obviously 45. And as you see that, the rest of the number is 667. So let me show y'all this, because as it's written, in that day there should be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord, and it should be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord of hosts. Hint, an altar in the midst of the land of Egypt. Hint, Memphis. Hint, like Memphis, Egypt, right by Cairo, where the holy altars are. You know what I'm saying? And as it's written, which our shadow needs to come, but the body is of Christ, aka Yahushua. So you see at the top of the pyramid where the Messiah is in rulership, it foreshadows his power to rule to come. Hint is measured at 76 degrees. You feel what I'm saying? So when they do the 67, it's just like, in a sense, like I always say this, 7 is the number of the spirit, 6 is the number of the flesh. So hint, when you reverse it, it's like their way of trying to attack and making flesh higher than spirit. That's why they put 6-7 instead of 7-6. I'll show it in a minute. But notice anyway, on his video talking to my scale, as you can see, he got the, if you can really pay attention on the far left right here, you got the 6-7. You see that, and then you got the 7-6 right here as well. If you really pay attention to that bottom lower left corner, like that stuff is real. You know what I'm saying? And then notice right here, I'm a couple of movies. This is off Snakes on the Plane. You know, Obama, like I've been breaking him down for a long time now. And the Honolulu International Airport has 7-6 on it. That's why they was trying to kill the snakes on the plane, because as it's written, you know, be wise as serpents, but innocent as doves. So that's why they was trying to kill the saints that was on the plane. Remember, I was just talking about the airways. Remember when I was just talking about that Airway Boulevard. So I want to just use that as an example. So hint the whole thing with a 7:06 again on the clock. Notice this man right here on this Nigerian movie. He has 6-7 on his shirt. And then you see 76 on the car. You see that? Notice right here, you got 6955 for Miracle Spring Water by a so-called pastor. You know, we already know about all this blasphemy, but notice the 7-6 in there. Notice 7-6 on Rise of the Planet of the Apes. You know what I'm saying? And notice this is a fraternity movie called Brotherhood. Notice the 776 on the car. So I want to use that as an example, because when you understand why this had to happen at the Makita's homemade cookie shop, hint the whole thing. Remember, Makita's one of the queens, the Queen of Sheba. You know, I believe that was her name. Her name was Makita, if I'm not mistaken. With the whole thing with her connection to King Solomon. Remember, she was seeking and she heard about the great wisdom that King Solomon had, and she brought him a lot of gifts. Let's delve deep into this. In 1 Kings chapter 10, listen to this right here. This stuff is real. Blessed be the Lord thy God, which delighteth indeed to set thee on the throne of Israel, because the Lord loved Israel forever. Therefore made he thee king, and to do judgment and justice. And she gave the king Solomon 120 talents of gold, and spices, very great store, and precious stones. And there came no more such abundance of spices as these which the queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon. But I remember she gave Solomon all the gold and all of the spices. And notice how he goes to get the cookies. You know what I'm saying? Hint in Memphis. Like, this stuff is crazy. Look at this right here. 1 Kings chapter 3 with King Solomon. And Solomon made an infinity, like made alliance with Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and took Pharaoh's daughter and brought her into the city of David until he made an end of his building of his house and the house of the Lord and the wall of Jerusalem round about. Only the people sacrificed in high places, because there was no house built unto the name of the Lord unto those days. And Solomon loved the Lord and walked in the statutes of David his father. So you see that whole connection with the whole Memphis connection. And the hint, the thing too, like I was talking about with your boy, this is deep, because remember, Juice WRLD situation happened at the Midway International Airport in Chicago. You know, that's young Dolph's cousin. So it happened on Cicero Avenue, right? Which is very serious, the Cicero Avenue, because remember Cicero was taken out by Mark Antony. Remember, because he was opposing Mark Antony, you know, about the whole like the demise of the Roman Republic. Remember that? So you see how I remember I was talking about this earlier about the young Dolph connection. Remember I was saying how they did that whole thing with Dolph Ziggler lose to Big E, and then Big E goes on to try to battle Roman Reigns, and how your boy, you know, Juice WRLD had the connection with the Rome because of the. Remember I was talking about the airport with the Cicero Avenue. This stuff is that it all connects like that, man. This stuff is all in our face. You know what I mean? And there's no way around it. Notice how, you know, obviously, as you can see, which is very serious, because if you see this right here, you know, obviously the door, the little wall, the doorway, hint the whole thing of going, you know, from being a sacrifice and to the sense of what becoming anointed, you know, preparing for the next life, the other side. Remember that song Adele had, talking to you from the hello or from the other side. Now, as you can see, he got the red on because the red, all that represents is nothing but the sacrificial lamb. You know what I'm saying? And hint the whole thing right here. He's preparing to be the sacrifice. You see how deep this is. Look at this right here. Hint the whole theme of the hangman stance, preparing for death. See that right there? It's just all in our face. You know what I'm saying? And there's no way around it. Look at this right here. You see Chadwick Boseman last movie, he was doing the hangman stance. You know what I'm saying? There's no way around it. Look at that. Stuff is crazy. Hint the whole theme of Dolph. You know, the dolphin is obviously a symbolism of it's like the Christ symbol. Remember, as it's written, you know how Messiah is the man out to sea. He's the living waters. So hint the dolphin, you know what I mean? And when you see, like, you know, it says Yahushua the scepter dolphin. Hint Messiah holding the rod, the man out to sea coming to hold the rod. You know what I'm saying? So you understand how serious that is. Hint the whole theme on the show Family Guy. Remember, you had Billy. You had Billy Finn. And I'm gonna break this dolphin theme down and why the dolphin had to go, because it's all in our face. Hint, remember I said that the name Billy is short for William. Hint the I am that I am, the will of I am that I am, will of God. Billy, short for William. So you see how he was on there. Notice how he's standing at the door. You see how Peter opens the door for him, because when you understand that, remember how it's written that the Messiah, you know, cometh to the door and he, you know, knocks and hoping you let him in and enter into your life. Hint the whole thing, man. No way around none of this. Hint this right here, the Louis Vuitton skateboard. And I got a skateboard video coming anyway, but you know how the Messiah is the foundation of the world. That's why they like to skate and, you know, ride all over him. You know what I mean? Utilize him as the foundation for blasphemy. You know what I'm saying? So you understand how deep this goes. It's that deep because the blasphemy that they set upon, as it's written, that they blaspheme my name all day, all night, all day long. So that's why they like the skateboard, because the whole theme of the foundation is the Messiah is the foundation in which was slain for the world. So notice how Louis Vuitton is obviously made. What does it say? Made in France. And look at Louis and then made in France, because remember I said when you translate praise the Lord, it becomes Louis Eternal. And hint the whole France. Hint Louisiana. You know, and Anna is obviously short for what? Mary. So hint the Louisiana. You know what I mean? And then you got like the French connection with you know, with Louisiana. And remember now I was talking about a while back. That's why Jay-Z and Kanye, remember I broke that down, that they had the you know, the men in Paris. You know what I'm saying? And you remember you had your boy Pop Smoke, remember him and Quavo had the song Shake the Room, and they performed that in France. And they want to shake Messiah out of ruling the altar. Shake the room. Like, it's that deep, man. You know, I covered this a while back. Notice on the movie Hoodlum, you see Lewis right here on the wall. Notice your boy Young Dolph got on the Babylonian lion. You know, they use the Detroit lion, but you know he utilizing the whole theme of the Babylonian lion. You know what I mean? That's all that represents, the Babylonian lion. Hint, Obama is a Leo, a lion. Like, I covered all of this. The stuff is all in our face, man. Notice the girl right here. You notice the this whole thing right here, the one in the red. Notice that they got the butterfly symbol on their arm because that represent what? The great transformation. Remember when I was talking about it earlier about the sacrificial lamb? You see how he has on the red. And notice the whole theme of the great sacrifice, preparing for the next life, entering to the next side. Crazy. Hint right here, you got the 885, because when you understand the number 885, it's a number. It's like practically it's a symbol of representing, you basically nearing the end of the process. You're preparing to, reach the next level. That's why he got it on talking to my scale. And you see how the scale has 885 on it, because that was all symbolic for showing that he was preparing to, exit the world stage. Hint, you almost near the triple eights. Let's get into this right here, because it's deep right here. As you can see, you got the Dumb and Dumber mixtape, Dumb and Dumber 2 mixtape. And it's deep because what you see right there about your boy Key Glock, notice he got the bat right there. Remember I said that the Messiah is coming to rule the world with the rod of iron. Hence why they got the bat symbolism. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at it right here too, which is very serious, is because you see your boy Dolph is drinking the lean. Let's delve deep into this. You see how you say I pour lean and grapefruit juice and rock blue diamonds. So when you understand that whole thing, that's why they always use the lean, because remember in John 19:2, as it's written, just during the crucifixion, and the soldiers plaited a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and they put on him a purple robe, you know what I mean? To mock him. So hence the whole thing why they like to drink the purple lean. And you see how you say I rock blue diamonds, obviously hint the Masonic blue. Like all this comes together. And as you can see, you got that parrot by him. That's very serious as well, too. Because when you understand the parrot, hence the whole thing, what is it? The macaw bird. And when you understand the macaw bird, they say like the macaw was like a port to like the name of God. You know how the macaw, that's what they were saying. It's like a port for like the name of God. Very serious, you know what I mean? Which is nothing but like the parrot. So look how deep that stuff goes. You got the macaw, which is like a form of trying to, a form to reaching the name of God. And then you got the bat right there. Remember I saw Messiah coming to rule the earth with the rod of iron. And then notice why he's drinking the lean. Like that stuff all in our face. You know what I mean? That's why I was a basketball player from St. Louis. Remember, he was people who know about your boy Patrick McCaw. That's why he had to play for Golden State. Remember that he got that spinal injury, and then he goes to Toronto. Remember, I was breaking down how Toronto represents the beast, the mark of the beast, and he beat the Golden State Warriors because the Warriors represented nothing but the saints of God. So notice how it represents like the saints, those who would depart from the faith, and then they'll join it with the beast and then battle against the saints. And that's why he won that championship back to back. I want to just use that as, to show how all this stuff come together. Because obviously this is the Dumb and Dumber mixtape. And, young Dolph, when was this, like 2 days ago that happened with Dolph? Like the 17th, 16th, 17th? Notice the Dumb and Dumber 2 came out November 14th, 2014. Right? This is like a couple of days before that whole situation happened with Dolph. And remember on the movie, you had your boy Travis who dies on the movie inside of the car. And I'm going to explain this because this stuff is all in our face. Travis don't mean nothing but what? To cross over to the other side. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to play this clip and I'm going to chime on in. Pay attention to this right here. Look how all this stuff comes together. Look at your boy Dolph down as it's written in Revelation 13, dwelling among the beasts in the sea. You see how deep this goes, the Antichrist. The same thing that, they all do the same thing. Why Busta Rhymes doing the same thing with your boy Dolph? And you see Busta Rhymes holding the beast, the shark, and look how he's dressed. Let's delve deeper into this. Look how Obama's dressed, holding the beast out to sea. Crazy, because this whole thing came out around, this video came out literally a couple days before King Von's, situation that happened. Came out like a few days before that happened. And, on the song, he was talking about the whole, smoking a cigar. Remember, I broke all that down what it meant. But you remember how King Von, happens in the cigar lounge. And I want to talk about that because, real quick, if y'all don't mind me talking, because I want to just show how that whole empire thing connects. Because what's so deep about that, which is crazy, because you remember how King Von happens in the cigar lounge? And the whole theme about in Revelation 8, as it's written, 8:3, and another angel came and stood at the altar having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense that he should offer it with the prayer of all the saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke and the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. So hence the whole theme of the cigar, like the incense. That stuff is that deep, man. And there's just no way around it. I want to just connect all of this stuff because it's all in our face. You know what I mean? You see how deep this all goes. Let's take it even further. Notice Key Glock got the cards. And notice his mixtape or album or mixtape just came out called what? Yellow Tape. Hint Yellow Tape. Hint the whole thing dealing with what? With death. This happened right before the whole thing with your boy, Young Dolph. Hint Yellow Tape. And you see how they show all the cars? Look, Kendrick Lamar does it with the cars. And then he's on top of the altar, standing on top of the building, being higher than Messiah. And J. Cole shows all the cars. And then he's standing on top of the altar, on top of a hill higher than Messiah. Because when you understand that car thing, remember I broke this down. Kara means what? Nothing but the anointed Messiah. That's what car derives out of. That's why all these music videos, they got talking about the fast cars. They got talking about, they always got a damaged car crash, whatever. It's just all to show the blasphemy against the Messiah. Notice your boy Young Dolph. Notice he has songs thousands of times talking about sacrifice. As you see right there, sacrifice. Come on, man. Look at that. R.I.P. me open. And this happened. When was this? This is like a few weeks ago. He took this picture. R.I.P. Come on, man. Because it's all symbolism. Because I'm going to break this down in a minute. But as you see, remember it says, but Yahushua said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, but in his own country and among his kin and in his own house. So you see how a man that's in his own kingdom, in his own city won't be respected. They always want to kill you. So that's why they always got to have the rappers die in their cities. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm going to break this down because when you understand the Empire logo, this is very serious right here. I'm going to break this down because it's very serious when you understand the whole thing why all these rappers connect with Empire. And I'm going to break this down, what this is all about. As you see, you got a circle. And as it's written in Ezekiel 1:16, and there appeared a wheel within the wheel, which revealed the Messiah. So hit the whole thing, the wheel in the middle of a wheel. So what they doing is basically like, as it's written that the Messiah has the four faces. He's the face of a royal, son of man. He's a lion of Judah. He's a flying bird, and he's the royal bull. So hint the wheel within the wheel. So that's why all these rappers, they always knocking them off through Empire because it's just all symbolic of them trying to kill off the Messiah roles that they build up every time. That's why they always say, oh, this person was doing this for the community. This is what he was, blah, blah, blah. They always push that because they want to knock that Messiah's image off every time. Hint the King Von. Remember, I broke that down, how they used to try to say, they remind them of King David, David Barksdale. Remember Messiah through the house of David. And, Mo 3 with Texas. Remember, I broke that down about how he had to happen on a highway. Remember, I broke all that stuff down because Messiah, trying to reach the altar. You remember how Mo3 car, you remember he was trying to get in his car and get his gun, and look what happened? Because Texas, remember I said the Star of Bethlehem, the Star of Bethlehem is Messiah. He's the horns of salvation. And Texas is the Lone Star State and the horns of salvation. You know what I mean? Young Dolph, remember I just broke that down about the Dolph thing, about the Dolph image, representing the Messiah with the rod. So look how they always trying to kill off these roads. You know what I'm saying? And it just happens. That's how deep this stuff is. This is high level masonry. You feel me? And as is written in Wisdom of Solomon, Solomon 15, verse 5, the sight whereof enticeth fools to lust after it, so they desire the form of a dead image that have no breath. So they always want to lead us into, being caught up in the worshiping of the dead imagery that you actually can hear because it's playing. You're hearing their music. Let's get deep. Like hear this right here in Daniel 3:5. And at that time, ye hear the sound of the flute, the harp, all kinds of music, and ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king have set up, the king of Babylon. So notice how they utilize all the dead imagery and make you worship it. You know what I mean? This stuff is that deep, man. It's that deep. Notice right here, I want to talk about this. Because as you see, you got 4.4 million followers at the time. Hint the 44. Remember I said that represents the Ark of the Covenant. That's why Obama had to be the 44th president. You know what I mean? To try to say that he hijacked the Ark of the Covenant. That's why Malcolm X situation, a man who was identified, was freed after 44 years in jail. Hint the 44. Let's delve even deeper into this, man. Hint your boy Busta Rhymes. He got the 44 on his license plate, and the song is called Break Your Neck, because Messiah is the head ruler and they want to break his neck. They don't want him to become king. It's crazy. Like hint this whole thing right here, how your boy got 666 on, and then you see the whole thing of 44 right there. So hint 666 and 44, how they literally want to possess the Ark of the Covenant. And listen to the name of the reporter.
In South Memphis, Janae Lewis of UREG News Channel.
Listen.
In South Memphis, Janae Lewis.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let's get even deeper because I want to talk about it even more. I want to talk even more if y'all mind. I want to delve into the Alpo right quick. Hint the whole thing with Malcolm X, how 55 years later they come out, they convicted men, exonerated after 55 years. Notice Alpo is 55 years old, was 55 years old at alleged death. You feel what I'm saying? And let's delve even deeper into this if y'all mind me talking, because I want to talk. Notice your boy Alpo. When you understand how deep this stuff is, how Alpo, they said that he was living as a construction worker as they changed his name to Abraham. And Abraham, remember the Most High is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Through Abraham comes the covenant. Through Abraham comes the descendants of Israel. So hence the whole thing, they talking about he was released in 2015 and lived a quiet life in Lewiston, Maine. Lewis, Maine, man. Doing construction work, building the kingdom. Let's delve deeper right quick. I want to talk a little more right quick while I got a little time to do this, man. Because this stuff all comes together. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said to my, he was a construction worker, right? And he loved what he loved. He owned a Harley Davidson motorcycle. Hint the son of David, the Messiah. Hint the whole time. I'm going to delve deep into this. Because look at this right here. When you understand this, they was talking about that his truck that he was caught up in on Halloween, it's talking about that it was 6'7". Hint the 67. Remember I was talking about this earlier, man. About the altar, the 67. Remember I was talking about that. It's all in our face. They told me he couldn't see because his truck was too tall. It was 6'7". Come on, man. And it's just all in our face. Notice the stone wall behind him. Notice the stone wall behind Floyd. Notice the stone wall behind Kendrick. Notice the stone wall by BMF because with Meech and MT, because the whole stone wall hit the Masons. It's the stone builders. Let me even show you this right here. Hint your boy Prince Royce standing by the stone wall. Hey, come on, man. All in our face. You know what I mean? The Masons ain't nothing but what? The stone builders. So it's just all in our face. All about who got the eyes to see and ears to hear.
I heard 5 shots. 1 and then four consecutive shots after that.
I heard 5 shots and 4 consecutive. Hint to 45. You hear that? And then notice how deep this is. Because notice he got on Louis Vuitton. And when I was talking about it earlier with your boy Dolph, remember I was showing him with the Louis Vuitton skateboard. Remember when I was showing y'all that? There's just no way around this stuff. It all comes together. Hint the Abraham with the Dodge Ram. How they talking about, he was in the Dodge Ram. And he had his time he was trying to do construction work in Lewis, Maine. And you see how he's wearing Louis Vuitton and he's wearing Davidson gear. Look at this. In Genesis 22:13, and Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked. Look how they said it. Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt sacrifice instead of his son. And then you remember, as it's written, that after he did that, the Most High brought forth the blessings unto Abraham. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. So notice how they use him for that. To possess the gate of thine enemies. Who are the enemies? The saints of the Masons. Let's get even deeper. Because when that whole situation happened with your boy Abraham, aka Alpo, your boy Cameron, who played him on Paid in Full, he was 45 years old at the time. Remember, and guess what year he was born? 1976. Remember, when I broke this down earlier about the Messiah. And Revelation 12. The 1976 to 2021 is 45. No way around this. That he had to die off when Cameron is 45. The 1976 connection. And then your boy Cameron, remember this year, that's why he had to lose against the Locks. Hint the Warlocks, the Masons in the versus battles. Because remember, the depth set represent nothing but the Saints, the Diplomats, versus the Masons, the Warlocks. Hint the war against the Saints. So it all just comes together like a big puzzle. Like I said, it's all about who got the eyes to see and ears to hear. But I'm actually going to end that right here. Thank you for watching Hide and Seek TV. Much more is coming. Peace.